EA Sports. It's in the game.
Punch! 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 Yes! 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 Yes!
Hey kids, do you like MMA? And did you love UFC Undisputed? Then you're gonna really love EA Sports MMA! Wait, why do I sense hate mail coming? EA Sports MMA is EA's attempt at making a good MMA game. The game has received a truckload of hate from UFC Undisputed fans who say, and I quote, "It's shit." Come on, you guys. That's rude, kiddies. Having played EA Sports MMA, I can assure you, this game is not shit. But haters gonna hate. With that said though, the game isn't exactly perfect. It does have some flaws that held it back from being an otherwise great game. What are those flaws, you may ask? Well, that's what reviews are for, aren't they? Yeah. So let's get into mine right now. EA Sports MMA doesn't really have a story. The game does have a career mode, but I wouldn't consider this to be a story since it's basically just this guy talking, you training, and then smashing people's heads in. Not really what I'd call a deep and complex story. And although usually when games don't have stories, I'd like to make something up, everything I wrote down to say here, I'm pretty sure would piss off every single MMA fan in the entire world. So I'm just not going to say anything. I'm not that stupid, you guys. And in any case, no one plays a fighter for its story. They play it to bash heads in, and I'm cool with that. Moving on. I went into EA Sports MMA with the mindset of, this is a fighting game. So I immediately tried to FADC into Ultra, and it didn't work, and then I kind of died. Then I actually learned how to play the game, and things went much better. If I had to compare the style of gameplay to anything, and don't hate me, but it was kind of like a mix between a wrestling game and a fighting game, which is honestly a nice mix. In the game, you can throw punches, kicks, and grapple your opponent, as well as block, dodge, and taunt. Oh, the taunting. I was such a dick. Now, when I first started playing, I thought the game was so complex, and not knowing what I was doing really ruined my initial experiences with the game. Although, once I got the hang of how it's supposed to be played, I'll admit, it's a lot of fun, if not a tad bit simplistic. The game had a lot of different mechanics to it, but I never really felt like I had to utilize them all to win. I felt like I could just go for TKOs all the time and that would get the job done. And honestly, that made things seem a bit simple. Not bad, but definitely simple. For game modes, you have Fight Now, which is like a quick match of sorts. It's basic, but it serves its purpose. You also have Career Mode, which is the single-player mode, and online matches. Now, I'm going to be mainly talking about the Career Mode because I spent most of my time here. In this mode, you can make your own fighter and then go through the MMA career. The way it's set up is that for 8 game weeks, you'll train your character and raise their stats, which is cool, but training got boring pretty damn fast. Then you fight your opponent and get money. Using that money, you can go to different trainers and learn special moves. Now, career mode is fun if for nothing else than you get to make your own overpowered character and ruin someone's day on Xbox Live, which is fantastic because I'm a dick. But this game mode really drags on after a while, and you're constantly doing the same things over and over again. What's more, the game gives you lots, and I mean lots of money, but there's nothing to buy other than training. And I feel like this is a huge missed opportunity for customization, you know? I mean, they could have done a lot with that. And as stated before, the game has an online mode, and it's good actually. The game handles quite well online. There's different tournaments you can take part in. As you fight, you gain XP, which is awesome because I love XP. But best of all, when you get quitters, the game gives you a win, or at least it did for me when I got that one quitter. It could have just been because I was towards the end of the match, but I don't know. I couldn't get anyone else to quit on me, and I really tried, you guys. As we've already stated, I'm kind of a dick. Now, all in all, the gameplay was good, and fun for that matter. But what I noticed was bad was the loading times. And career mode really showed this to me because it had so many of them. Now, I'm generally not one to bitch about loading times, but I found them a tad annoying in this game, because it seemed like my average match time was less than the loading times. A match for me, if I went for the TKO, would be half a minute, maybe. The loading times in the game would be a minute plus sometimes, and after a while I honestly got the idea that I was seeing more loading screens than I was actually playing the game, which is kind of lame. But, as I said, the gameplay was good, but I feel as though it could have been a bit better. If they follow this game up, and they probably will, I'd like to see a more fleshed out career mode and shorter loading times, and if we can get those, I feel the gameplay would be great, but as it stands right now, it's just good. Graphically, this game is pretty. Character models look great and shiny and sweaty and like MMA fighters, and yeah, they look really good is what I'm trying to get at here. The environments look good too, although I wish there was some interactivity between you and the environments, and I know that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but if I could just kind of falcon punch someone through the ring, that would make my day. I did notice in a couple sections of the game that the graphics were a bit choppy, but it wasn't a huge issue. What is that my created fighter is one ugly bastard, although that's completely my fault. Oops. In the sound department, I'm a little mixed, to be honest. Things like the announcers were fine and not annoying, which is fantastic because no one wants an announcer who's going to annoy the shit out of you. The characters' grunts and other noises they made when they got hit were also fine and not annoying, which is awesome. There's not much more voice acting to speak of besides, well, what I just mentioned. As far as music is concerned, it kind of irked me a little bit. Now, the soundtrack is comprised of quote-unquote hard rock bands and some metalish stuff, which is fine, but not really my cup of tea. I'm not going to dock points for this just because it's not my thing, but it did irk me. With that said, I love Avenged Sevenfold. So there. All in all, the presentation was really good, actually. Even better if you're into the music selection. All things considered, EA Sports MMA is a good game, and it's not shit like all the UFC fans say it is, although it is a more simplified version of it, or at least to me it was. Being simple doesn't make the game bad, though, and hell, this could have been a great game, but it just had some annoying things about it, like the loading times, and the loading times again, and my character was so ugly. Meh. So I hope that if they follow this up, and I think they probably will, they improve it a bit. With that said, EA Sports MMA gets a 3.5 out of 5.
Punch! Yes!